All right. Good evening, everybody. We are back. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. This is our weekly video minutes or our weekly podcast where we talk about some of the things that we've done last week, Jody, the things that we've got popping off right now, which is Toledo Kwanzaa House. Man,
Yep.
we big stuff now to have Toledo Kwanzaa House in the green room, and some of the things that we're going to be talking about in the future regarding politics, policing, economic justice, entrepreneurism, the whole thing. Listen, first I want to introduce myself. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he, him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bay. 7 years ago, they wanted to be involved in the social justice community, but they didn't want it to come out of politics or religion. And they brought me along, kind of toward the end of the idea to create some activities, to create some workshops, some type of events. And wow, Jody, here we are, 7 years later. And
7 years.
right. And for those who are visually impaired, today I have on no hat, so I've got my bald head, popping off today. I've got on my glasses that I got from Optical from Twix in Between. That's our sister Kristen Moncrief that has the Optigo bus. Check that sister out. She has all the glasses, all of the frames. I also have on a black button-up shirt today, kind of a sport shirt, but it's still Black history. It's still black. And man, brown skin. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. So we really get it in Toledo, regardless if it's showing up for a protest or putting on a political event. Hey, listen, Jody, I think that I've already introduced myself. I want to throw it over to you. Who are you? And look like you got a couple of extra charms on today, all right, if that's even possible.
No, my charm collecting days are just about done. I have a couple people that have some custom pieces for me, but other than that, this is already like 3-4 pounds.
Awesome.
So, also everybody, as you can see, he's still hiding his mic, but he's got one of these, and these are very, very sensitive mics. So if you hear any background noise, again, we don't have interns and stuff. So this is our makeshift drywall. So we
That's
got
right.
some green room people back there talking and everything like that. So just to kind of let you know, this place is a little bit more alive than what you've seen. And again, it feels nice to have the mics. I can hear
Absolutely.
myself
Yep.
Adjust some tones. But for everybody out there watching, my name is Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I am the treasurer of this wonderful organization and a whole bunch of other stuff in the community. It's so much easier to Google me, find the books, find the artwork, the movies and stuff, because I'm not here for me. I'm here for, again, the movement, to make sure that people are inspired to do things they never dreamed of.
Right.
And for the people that are visually impaired, or if you're just listening on Spotify or YouTube or even Facebook, you just got us while you're riding down the road. We appreciate it so much and love you for that. But I am a cinnamon tone, big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos, crystals, wristbands from the companies that I own, and around my neck, what Brother Washington was talking about, this like 3 pounds,
Yeah.
is a collection of stones, bones, and crystals.
You should see this in real life too, or as I say, you should see this in 4K. All right.
Yeah, it's sparkly. People like to touch them, but they're only a small part of me. One thing that most people don't see is below me. I have some little dials that hang from my dog chain that my sister helps me collect and stuff every year. But also for those people that are very, your organization is about one thing. I'm a Buddhist. He's a Muslim. A lot of people we have come on the show or when we have meetings are Christians or other religions. So this is not one of those bought out entities. This is come as you are, be as you are, and fight for something. Um, we've tried to emphasize that over the last 7 years, and I'm going to adjust this because again, I don't like looking directly at cameras and stuff like that. And I noticed just a moment my whole head disappeared under the mic, so we're going to adjust that in the next coming up weeks. But I am glad to have the mic to know what it possibly sounds like to you.
And you sound great. All right, in my ears, it's almost like I'm on the radio. You sound great.
I was a DJ host and radio host for like 4 years. Shout out Cast Off Radio and Prophet and Tiffany J and Miss Nike and everybody, Frank Wright, because that's why I learned to talk truthfully.
That's awesome.
On mics is different. This is kind of why I don't like mics, because I have to control my voice, the P's, the cadence that I have when I'm performing. But either way, for those of you, again, out there that are doing something, an endeavor to help generations you may never see.
Right.
When we speak 7 years, that is 7 years. That's not like we co-opted somebody else's organization that's been around since the 50s and like, hey, we're putting a pretty new, no, this is our blood, sweat, tears, and the people we miss, the people that may never come back, or even the people that came in one meeting, just said, screw y'all, and walked out. I remember you, Bob. No. But this is how we do it.
Right.
Our mission statement and our guiding principles, which will live on hopefully long after we're gone and this organization is hitting 100 years. Because I do believe that is possible if necessary.
All right.
Another thing, activism if necessary, not activism just to have attention. So,
all right. I like that. Activism if necessary.
Yep.
Okay.
So here's our mission statement. And yeah, I want to say begin peace because I performed. It's like second time performing today.
I saw you. I heard that.
We'll talk about that later in Black Excellence and everything. But mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, harassed, and endangered by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I think I've actually memorized that all in my head, which is kind of scary.
Well, all right then. All right. You mean the whole mission statement or the Dr. King part?
If I read something or hear something back because I can hear myself in my headphones, it becomes like a track. That's kind of secret spoiler for people.
Okay.
That's how I memorize things. I hear it back so I know where my breaths are.
All right. Awesome. This is our CSRN guiding principles. And right after this, we're going to take a short break and we're going to be back with Mother Diane Gordon from the Toledo Kwanzaa House. This is our guiding principles. This is what keeps us here and without harming ourselves. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
That means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love, is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Man, Jody, I'm so glad that we attended the Movement for Black Lives convening in 2015. That's where we've got those guiding principles. We tweaked it a little bit, so they kind of really vibes with Toledo. But I'm just so glad that we can just pick things from everywhere, which we'll be talking about Toledo Kwanzaa House and Kwanzaa. But we're going to need to take a short break.
Yep.
All right. So, family, come back, join us. This is the CSRN Weekly Video Minutes. It's our podcast. We will be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
No, we are back. We're back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. This is our weekly podcast. Oh, we got a smattering of applause. That's all we get. All the work that we've done, that's it. Okay, we see you out there. We see you out there.
Now we have soundtracks.
All right, so no, we don't have soundtracks. Those were just soundtracks. All right. Hey, listen, I want to bring Mother Diane Gordon into the chat. We're talking about Black History Month. We're talking about what it means and what really Kwanzaa means to the Black community and to Toledo. Before we bring her in, I think she just messaged me to say, hey, look, talk about me a little bit before you bring me in. Okay, Mother Gordon. All right.
You got to give your intro.
When you think about Kwanzaa, what do you think about? Is it just kente cloth? Is it just drums? Well, we have the originator of Kwanzaa in Toledo. Yep. All right here. And let's bring her into the chat. All right, Mother Gordon, can you?
Yes.
All right.
Hello.
And Mother Gordon, thank you for joining us. This is our weekly podcast, and it's all Black everything, and it's Black History Month. And it's no better opportunity than to talk to the person that I believe is the originator of Kwanzaa here in Toledo. I mean, I've never seen anybody do it longer than her. All right. And I think I'm pretty old. All right. I'm pretty old. So, Mother Gordon, yes, we're talking about Kwanzaa family. And no, it's not December 26th. All right. We're talking about Kwanzaa. Can you talk, Mother Gordon, if you can introduce yourself and really why should we still be embracing the principles of the Nguzo Saba well after the Kwanzaa celebration has ended?
First, I'd like to give you honor and give honor and praise. And it is an honor and a privilege to be on your Comcast tonight to tell you and share with you the information that I think is important on why we need to continue to celebrate the Nguza Saba. It is something that we can live by each and every day. And it comes through our everyday efforts, our everyday education and learning and coming together. And so it's quite important for us to take this opportunity to this opportunity to share with you the seven principles. Um, First of all, let's start with umoja. Umoja is unity, and that is to strive for and bring unity within ourselves and with our community and our family. And one of the things that is so crucial today is that we need to make sure that as a family that we understand our role as the father, the mother, the grandmother, the child versus everybody not being your friend. There's a role for the mother, the father, and the grandmother. And we must respect our elders because there's wisdom there. They didn't get to be a uh, can you hear me?
We can hear
We
you.
can hear you. Yeah, you're kind of going in and
Is
out though.
that, yeah, I think that's because I might have to put the phone on silent.
Okay.
Uh, is that one of the things that as a mother, and I raised three
Uh-oh, you might have to
sons.
put the phone on silent because we're getting a lot of feedback.
You're not able to.
Okay, okay, we're gonna have to put it on silent.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that. Hold on one moment.
Okay. Take your time.
Okay, are you still giving me feedback?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of reverb in the sound.
Okay.
How about this? If you could, how about logging out and log back on? And we're going to see if that resolves it. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, we are back. This is Community Solidarity Response Network. And as any live podcast, either we were going to have issues with our Wi-Fi, because obviously Jody don't take care of things, all right? Or we might have issues with our lighting or maybe
sound.
Or sound. I don't know if you mean sound like Julian's talking too long, but yeah, we even
Hey,
have
we got some good background noise though.
right, but so we're waiting for Mother Gordon to come back on. Now, if you want, I know that we've got Julian in the studio. We normally don't have him because he got a lot of irons in the fire. If you want, how about bringing Julian on if we could? Get him in and out, all right, as we always like to do. Hey, listen, there's a lot going on politically in our community. And I'd like to ask Julian some questions about what's happening, and so that maybe you could be informed of what's happening next. So how about that?
Yep.
And I'll let Miss Gordon know that, hey, listen, we're going to bring Julian on, and right after Julian, we're going to bring you back.
Okay, so we're gonna go to a commercial break, so this will be a little bit more seamless.
Oh, okay. So we're doing seamless now?
Yes, we are.
All right, okay, all right.
Hey, we got the mics now. We got to look like we kind of are professional.
Okay, kind of. Okay, all right. Hey, listen, family, we're going to be right back. We've got Mother Gordon in the green room. We've got Julian that just stopped by to step up and share some of his views on or our views really, because his views are our views until they're not. Okay. All right. So stay tuned. This is CSRN Video Minutes. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Hey, listen, we are back. This is CSRN.
Just like that.
Right. Our video minutes. Hey, listen, if you put those earphones on. Hey, listen, we are back. We've got a couple of things going on right now. We've got the Toledo Kwanzaa House in the green room. We experienced some technical difficulties as we normally do, and doing live shows, we're not able to film it and then edit it. So, hey, listen, Julian popped in. You might be wondering.
Technical difficulty. You're technical and I'm difficult, right?
Okay. I think I'm the comedic relief. All right. You can't get two checks. All right. So hey, listen. We're back. CSRN Video Minutes. We've got Julian in the house. We haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Lots of irons in the fire, building relationships for us in the community. Really, I wanted to ask you about the political landscape. What is it that you see that everybody needs to be aware of? Because some of the primaries and some of the elections are coming up.
Yeah. It's it's difficult because sometimes it seems like it's always the next election that's the most important one,
right?
But one, before we even get to the election, the gerrymandered districts is a problem, right? The Ohio Supreme Court just rejected the map, right? There's people
I saw that.
And prospective candidates that want to run for office, but they don't know who they're representing, right? Like they don't know where their constituents are yet, right? Which is a huge problem, which is a breakdown in how even elections should run, because you don't know how to serve the people when you don't know where
the people are.
The people are, right? So that's a huge issue. But listen, I make no apologies about this, right? Ohio, this is our chance to make a difference in the entire world. And that's saying that we know our change doesn't always come by the ballot booth.
True.
Or by the ballot box. But we use any and all the tools that we have.
Right.
And when we have one of us that are running for office, and I believe Morgan Harper is one of us, a community organizer, but also with the educational level and expertise to be able to go toe to toe with anybody in this country, right? And so this Senate race is a huge deal, right? This Democratic primary for the Senate race is a huge deal. Here's what I know.
Go ahead.
Is that in 2014, our former governor ran for U.S. Senate, I believe against Portman, and lost. Okay, this is someone who won the governorship.
Right.
Okay. Here's what I also know. In order for Ohio is very much 50-50 is what we call a purple state. Okay. It could go red, like I went for Donald Trump last year, a year ago, just a year ago, or it could go blue to a Democrat.
Right.
Here's what the influencing factors are. Are young people going to show up to vote? How much are Black people going to show up to vote? And how much of how high of a percentage are women going to vote for the Democratic candidate or the Democratic nominee? Right. Essentially, if you can check 2 out of 3 of those boxes in a statewide Ohio election, that's the difference between Ohio going red or Ohio going blue. It's that simple. We just so happen to have a young candidate, a black candidate, and a woman. And I say this as a caveat to say that we aren't one to be fooled by identity politics, right? This is someone who authentically represents young people, authentically represents black people, right? And who authentically represents women well.
Yeah.
This is not a drill, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Right. We know nothing of great substance has happened nationally in the Biden agenda because the Senate is in gridlock.
Right.
And, some say it's broken. I say it was designed to be that way.
Okay.
Right. So that heavily populated areas, so that country, rural places,
right,
places with a lot of people would not be able to make quick change, and the slow change of big and large states would happen. It would be a checks and balance.
Right. Now we had Morgan. Here. That was last month.
Yeah.
Right. We had her here last month. We had a citywide barbershop tour, and we also had some really good news coverage on that day too. And
she'll be back here Friday.
All right, and she held her own. And if you can hold your own at Foster's, if you can hold your own at Mr. Impeccable on Reynolds, if you can hold your own at Steve's. Hey, shout out to Steve.
Look, I can't always hold my own at Steve's.
Right. And I don't know who can. And even big shout out to the 319 studio?
Yes, 329. Yeah,
329. Sorry about that, Doug. But thank you for opening up their doors and allowing us to come in and have this message heard. For you, man, what is it that we really have to do to make a difference in this election regarding Morgan?
So we have to win this primary, right? We have to win this primary. So the spoon-fed candidate, right, that the Democratic Party wants to win is Tim Kaine. Tim Ryan?
I think
Tim Ryan. Tim Ryan. Don't even work. Yeah, Tim Ryan.
We got you.
Thank you.
This is live, all right?
And we know what happens. I mean, look, I don't think he's going to do better statewide than a man who was elected governor of Ohio. Okay. In order for us to win these elections, right, like it's important, right? We know that there is a battle right now. Biden said last year that there was a battle for the soul of America. Okay, cool.
All right.
Right now, whatever. But right now, there is a battle for the soul of what the Democratic Party, statewide and locally, is going to stand for and look like. Right? Is it going to be a party of the people, a party of black folks, right? A party that embraces not just on a surface level, what it is to embrace the entire black humanity, the entire black experience, to look at our entire history, right? And say, how do we repair this damage going forward? Or are they going to be, the party of, are they going to be the party of corporate power?
Yeah, and we call that more of the same.
More of the same. Thank you. Thank you. I was trying to think of a way to say it a little bit more.
Right. And unfortunately for a lot of us, and I say this and I'm saying it with truth, a lot of us that are older, we don't want to see change. We want to keep a lock on what we have. And candidates like Ms. Harper and others, we always want them to wait till next year. We want you to come back in 5 years. Or
Brother Washington, we damn near 40.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting.
Right.
That's what people don't realize.
I've surpassed 40.
All of a sudden, the people who've been waiting, we're almost 40 now.
That's right.
At what point are we supposed to wait till we're 60? Are we supposed to wait till we're 8? Maybe we should wait till we're 75 to run for president.
You know what?
I mean, because that's
right.
What we're looking at here.
Right.
I mean, the age of the people, the age of the average American right now, right, is not a boomer anymore.
Right.
It is a millennial now.
Right.
Right. And we need to have representative leadership if this is in fact a democracy that looks like such.
That's right.
And if it doesn't happen here, then where will it happen?
Well, I'm here to say, unless if you do it, it's not going to happen.
If not us, then who? And if not now, then when?
Right. So for those of you that are out there, check out Morgan Harper. Check out some of the other candidates that we're going to be mentioning up to the election. There can't be a change unless we have a changed candidate. Just being Democrat, and this comes from someone that could identify as Democrat. Just because you have a D behind your name doesn't mean anything. You've got to be a change. You got to be a changed person, and it doesn't mean that we're going to vote for the R. But if you want our vote, you're going to have to produce, or we'll produce our own candidates. And that's what Morgan represents.
And that's what our history, that's what our Black history mandates we do.
Right.
Right. We learn from our ancestors.
Right.
Right. And so in that same tradition, right, what does the Hiram Rebels of today look like? We had about 4 senators between 1865 and 1890. Since then, we've had about 4 or 5 senators, right?
Right.
And so, so it is, but that happened. If we look back at that, how did that happen, right? Was prior to Jim Crow, right? Jim Crow did not die. Jim Crow grew and evolved,
right?
Because what they're trying to do with, as I alluded to earlier, with the gerrymandering of our districts so that our voices aren't heard, what they're doing with the ballot box, right, is nothing but a new age literacy test,
right?
And so as we look at our history, as we learn from our ancestors, as we see how the sophistication of white supremacy morphs and evolves, we need to do the same.
That's correct.
And we need to do so boldly, unapologetically. And in just the spirit of Black History Month, I just think it's really important to highlight that, right? This ain't a new playbook. White supremacy is the same playbook. It's as old as America herself. Okay, but we have to just look at the ways that we've had times and periods where we have overcome throughout our history, right? But we didn't do so like incremental change, waiting our turn.
Right. We took bold steps.
Right. Yeah, we took bold steps. We decided to go to freedom today.
Right.
Not wait a couple years and we'll run away in a couple years.
Well, that before we take a break, those days are done. They're over with. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And listen, we're gonna and join us every Tuesday at 6:00. Of course, this is Black History Month, and you don't have to be an elder to be a part of Black history. You're watching it live right now. So, hey, listen, come on back. This is CSRN, our weekly video minutes, our podcast. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. Yeah, I had to say we're back just so we can be back. So, hey, listen, this is the CSRN Video Minutes. This is our weekly podcast. Okay, they're applauding. All right, we are back. Hey, listen, we have Toledo Kwanzaa House here. We have them in the studio. Looks like we're having some type of technical difficulties. Hey, let's try to bring one up.
Okay.
If we can. So just bear with this family. Let's see. I think that we have our brother Don up. Let's see if you can unmute or unmute your video. Let's see. I don't think that one's working there. So let's do this. All right, Jody. Hey, listen, we're back.
Yeah. I mean, that's the purpose of live. It's again, we're not going nowhere. Stuff happens, but again, you know that we're here. Technology is not as good as being in person, and it never will be.
Right. Well, here, listen, before we get to tying up some loose ends for Black History Month, I wanted to shout out some of the youth serving agencies that's making a difference in our community. I wanted to really shout out the Doug and our brother Reggie Williams at Frederick Douglass and doing all that he can do. I want to shout out the program with our brother Tremaine Rayford.
Looking forward to having you on the show.
Right, we look forward to having him on. I've seen some of his Facebook posts, so it looks like he's feeling a lot better. Handsome looking brother. I want to shout out also the Center of Hope with Dr. Tracy Perryman, Mystery Music, Young Men and Women for Change, or the Change Academy with our brother Sean Mahone, Mid-City Sports, TPS Sports, and so many other youth serving agencies. So if you feel as if no one's doing anything for the youth, there are people out here right now that's making a difference, and you really have to look them up.
And you won't find all of them on social media.
And you won't find them all on social media. So you might have to go do some homework.
Research.
Do some basic research. If you don't know how to work your phone, find your niece. All right, she'll give you a hand. Hey, listen, Jody, let's bring Mother Gordon back in from Toledo Kwanzaa House. We have Mother Gordon. We had some technical difficulties. Looks like we got some things straightened out. Hey, how you doing, Mother?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you for being patient with us as we were going in and out. And when you started talking about the Nguzu Saba, you talked about unity as the first principle and what it means. However, there are 6 other principles. If you can remember where you left off, would you mind continuing?
Yes, the second principle is self-determination, kujichagulia, and all of the principles are done in Kiswahili. So I'm going to do them starting over with umoja, meaning unity, kujichagulia, meaning self-determination, ujima means collective work and responsibility, Ujamaa means cooperative economics. Nia means purpose. Kuumba means creativity. And Imani is faith. Those are the 7 principles under the Nguza Saba that we can use each and every day. As we talk about, I just listened to the brother speak about um, the world that we're living in and voting and all the things. We need to be using that principle of self-determination to make change. We all must come together in unity, and we all can have a collective work and responsibility about building and maintaining our own businesses and creating new ones for our young people, teaching them how to be entrepreneurs,
That's
how
right.
to share in the wealth. I think that I always seem to get disappointed when they talk about Christmas and holiday and how we as a people go out and spend billions of dollars. And those stores and businesses do not come in our neighborhood, and we're indebted for the next year using these charge cards at 22, 25% interest. And
That's
we need
so
to
true.
stop it. We need to talk about building wealth in our own community and with our families. And cooperative economics is one of the key issues that we will find that will help us to build our community and teach our children how to keep it safe and making sure we use their creative talent. And we have faith in one another throughout the year of understanding that if we come together and can agree, but sometimes disagree, but we always are finding ways to build a better relationship with each other, we will see us moving forward.
Mother Gordon, if I can ask, man, for those of you that are watching this or may stream this at another time, um, was Kwanzaa created in Africa? Because most people that come up to me and say, "Well, I don't pray to Kwanzaa because it was invented in Africa," or man, what do
No, that is a misconception. The African roots of Kwanzaa came out of Africa because it taught us how to come together. We knew that in the traditional African tradition is that we would come together at the harvest time and share in the crops. Like may do potatoes, I may be doing rice and beans, and we
beautiful?
come together from each farm and come together and share in that. And that was one of the things that Dr. Malana Karinga used as one of the concepts of bringing it together, but it was due to the riots. And he was trying to find a way that we could use these 7 principles to bring peace and harmony to our community. And one of the things we also have to understand that our culture and our customs is that we always respected the elders, and we always learned that we never would put each other down, and there were understandings that there was rules to follow. And so some of the customs and traditions of Africa were brought here to the United States by Dr. Malana Karinga, but it was not there to answer your question.
Right, right. So when we talk about Kwanzaa, what year did it originate? Because some people have told me, well, they started Kwanzaa in 2016. Somebody else said no, it was in 1997. When?
No, Kwanzaa started in 1966, and Dr. Milana Karingas had the first celebration in Los Angeles, California, and it has spread it out. And there's millions and millions of people throughout the world who celebrate Kwanzaa. And if you are, or were you aware that last year we had to go virtual, and we did
Right,
united all these 7 Ohio states
right.
around the around here. It was Dayton, Cincinnati, Cleveland, um, Lima, our Kwanzaa House, Columbus. We had so many Kwanzaa organizations came together, and there were almost 20,000 calls that came
Oh,
into
that's awesome.
that system, and they were coming from all directions. We had them from the Virgin Islands, we had them from Liberia, we had them from Chicago, DC, California. We got calls from everywhere to be a part of that. So when people are not educated on the fact of what Kwanzaa is,
That's
it is
right.
not a religious holiday, but a cultural celebration. We don't talk about when Jews have Hanukkah. We
That's
don't
correct.
talk about other holidays and question that. Why would we question our own culture and our own celebration of who we are and
Listen
all the
up, family.
contributions?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you had answered my last question because I'm sitting here with Jody. I'm a practicing Muslim. He's practicing Buddhist. Can both of us participate in Kwanzaa? And
Yes, because in our group, we all come from all different walks of life. Hey, your religion has nothing to do with your culture or your history. Your
you need to say that.
participation.
You need to say that again for some of the people in the back that I don't think
Okay,
heard you. All right.
okay. It your ethnicity or your religion has nothing to do with celebrating your custom and your tradition
Mm,
and
mm,
culture.
mm. Yes,
We
ma'am.
are talking about a cultural celebration, understanding that it's more to us than talking about slave ships.
Right.
It's
Right.
more to us than understanding that mathematics came out of Africa, and we were the builders of so many and things before we even came to this country. So I think that we must understand one of the things is study our past so we can prevent the downfall of our future.
Right. Hey, Mother Gordon, we want to thank you for being here. And this is not the last time we're going to have Toledo Kwanzaa House. Thank you. Thank you, Mother Gordon. Oh, you know what we forgot? Um, are there any?
Brother Don,
Yeah, Brother Don. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that his device is properly
Yeah,
uh,
it's
hooked in. So, we love Don, and the less I see of him, the better. He'll understand
oh,
that.
come on.
He'll understand that. I couldn't resist that.
But
All
before
right.
I go, is that we have our Kwanzaa T-shirts now with the African symbols on them. That I'm gonna see if I can show it to you. If
Oh,
there's one,
beautiful.
and we have another one that has a symbol on it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Family, that's our mother, Diane Gordon from Toledo Kwanzaa House. Family, make sure that you embrace those principles of unity, self determination, uh, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, man, purpose, creativity, faith, all year round. Hey, look, Jody, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with tying up some loose ends. So this is Toledo. This is our CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, see, they caught you talking this time. But
yeah, thinking about the future and how we get more of the word out there versus just being like every other podcast to get the word out there for them.
Right, and I think that one of the ways that we're different is we're different.
Yeah.
All right. Jody talked earlier on our way here. We talked about why we're still here, because this isn't a funded initiative, meaning that if somebody doesn't cut a check, then we're not coming on. All of our professional expertise that we would use for a regular work day, we put all that love and responsibility into producing this podcast.
Yeah.
Making sure that we're here. Hey, listen, we're going to tie up some loose ends, and then we're going to get into 5 minutes of heat. But I wanted to just bring Mother Gordon back on. But hey, something happened. She left the green room again.
It's okay. Again,
all right.
That I do want to say I don't watch really much of anything because after here I got recording to do. But from the few podcasts that I see or that I've heard of, they don't really have they interview people, but they don't have the interactiveness, especially if we have adapted during COVID to where you can see you're not just like in the green room or in a call.
No.
We got calls now.
Right.
We got calls now, but you actually see us interacting with the person as best as we can thanks to COVID.
That's correct.
Like that. But
right.
I like that because I don't want to just feel like, oh, this person's having an interview and they're doing talking points.
Right.
I have enough careers where people are doing talking points.
Right. We're definitely not doing that. But I would like to do some, just tie up some loose ends. Some of the things that I said earlier regarding our youth, and some of the programs that are out there. And I'm going to mention them again. The Frederick Douglass has youth programming going on right now. Contact the Doug or just drive by. The program with our brother Tremaine Rayford. Check him out. He's doing awesome work. And I think they just had a young men's forum too. Check out the Center of Hope. Yeah. That's Dr. Tracy Perryman. Mystery Music. Check out Young Men and Women for Change. It's not a boot camp, but you need to call Brother Sean Mahone at Change Academy and get some information. Check out Mid-City Sports. I know it's middle of winter time, but set your children up for success, to be a part of organized sports if the child so chooses.
Or search out art programs.
And check out some of the art programs, and particularly the Mad Poet Society. We were talking about the Mad Poet Society earlier. Check out David Bush. Check out what Gutter Dave also does a lot regarding youth and programming regarding the arts. It's so important that you go out and do your own research, because there are people that are making a difference in our community regarding our youth. You may not have to make another program if somebody already has a program. Matter of fact, there's a program, I think in the next office. I'm going to find out what's the name of that program and promote that. Or
yes, dance. I don't want to say Jaguars. I don't think it's Jaguars. I'm not sure, but still, shout out to the Jaguars.
Shout out to the Jaguars. Check out the Jaguars too. But we're going to find out. I think they just moved in. All right, we're waiting for them to put up a sign.
But speaking of Gutter, so since I guess art or whatever person. If you've noticed in our last couple of shows, our backgrounds kind of change.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I've come up with the idea, since we do have, like, I guess you could say, a wealth of protest material or donations, like this beautiful piece of artwork by Gutter Dave at an event that we held at.
That was at Ottawa Park.
There we go. So, and then we have other stuff around. And for me, art should not collect dust. So even if you know me in my personal life, I'm always highlighting these artists that I meet, because I don't buy mass produced stuff. But so we're going to be switching the background out every now and then. So the other people that have donated art or posters or something will get that little bit of flowers while they're alive.
All right. Hey, before we get into 5 minutes of heat, I just wanted to let everybody know how you can support us. You can support us through Cash App. That's hashtag CSRN 419. You can support us via PayPal, CSRN 419. Everything that you give helps us keep this movement going forward. So you got that. You also have our website, csrn.com. Check us out. Get some wristbands, get some yard signs. It's almost spring again, so you can get some new yard signs. Get some T-shirts. Help us help our community. All right, I think that's about it, Jody.
Okay. Well, again, it's good to be creative, especially in troubling times. And I try and highlight everybody. It's
Yeah.
not just about my city or my state or some type of agenda or even a genre, because I don't know. I've been hearing my resume spoken back to me a lot. I just came from speaking with the commissioners again, which is the first time, I think, in the history of Toledo again, which is, I don't know, very weird. But today, as of last week, we spoke and rose the Pan-African flag.
Right.
I was one of the feature speakers.
That's right.
And today I did a repeat and came back. Shout out to Joni McKentry. And she's our new poet laureate. For those of you that don't know what a poet laureate, that's like the head honcho in a sense.
All right.
But they go to events, they encourage things like, if you're saying who is the best poet in your county or state, essentially that's what the poet laureate is. It's been
Okay. All
judged
right.
by a blind panel, and they're there to help. They're there to put more poetry in places, and I don't know how she did it, but
hey, she did though.
in
She
between
did
work
that.
and going there, I got to speak again with a lot of my poet friends that I haven't seen in a bit. So we all got to speak in chambers again on Black History Month. We each did a couple of pieces. I'm going to give names and shout out. They may not like it, but I need to look at my phone, because again, doing all this stuff takes a lot.
Right.
In this space that you see me right now, that combines everything. When I leave this microphone, when I leave these doors, I get to break myself, I guess you could say, in little bits and pieces and see what's going on. So shout out to CC, shout out to David Bush, Hunter Prey, Joni, and Sandra, who all participated in today's first Black History opening ceremony for the commissioners. And what I'm reading is what she read today, which during the pandemic, a lot of stuff happened. And we decided to put together a book for Black lives. Me and a lot of other authors and poets, now authors, because I think three people in this book were never authors before, which is a beautiful thing. Decided to put a collection of poems and everything together. And I'll be reading this again probably next week. It depends, unless I get triggered and I have to pull another trust test out of my bag.
No, we'll be reading. Tune in. We'll be reading this next week too. All right.
So, one of the people in the book, you know what? It's Black History Month. We're going to shout them all out. So,
that's right.
Shout out to, again, Sandra Gill, Tanasio, Automatic, Natalie Gray, Hunter Prey, Melvin Douglas Johnson, Travell Ellison, and me.
Jody Summers, child of the system.
I'm very bad at
Spoken
doing
truth. Tears of the wounded.
it. I'm very bad at doing it. This is why I say to Google me, because it's daunting to hear it back. But what we'll be reading today is a piece out of the book, which, shameless plug again, you can contact Joni, Facebook, social media, hit
Right.
her up. These are just $20, and they go to support movements. Ours. But it goes to support the movement. So every time you buy a book, you give that. It's like the Tooth Fairy in a way. You know, you give he's not even listening.
No, I checked out on purpose. When I heard him say Tooth Fairy, I'm like, no, let me get out here.
But
dog.
still, it's like an investment. You
Okay, yeah, no, all right,
put
now
a
I'm
tooth
back.
under
Oh,
the
okay.
pillow, and then somebody gets their wig. So every time you purchase a book from an author or organization, it gives us that encouragement to write the next sentence or next book. So
I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna lose a tooth. I'm like, damn, I can't lose no more.
well, okay. So with that, I'm going to give my best rendition. Luckily, I've had the chance to hear all of these poets, and my cadence is very, very different. So I'm gonna do it with my tongue ring in, so that way I don't get all preacher man on everybody. So this is called Reparations in Hip Hop by a local legend here, Melvin Douglas Johnson, who might beat Brother Washington in some age.
I think so. I remember learning from him decades ago. That brother.
Wow. All righty. So I don't know how much of that y'all missed, but anyway, comical banter aside, shout out to Melvin Douglas Johnson. This is Reparations in Hip Hop. To all my young hip hop brothers, it is your turn to confront the beast that smothers us with your lyrics of protest. Contest the rape of your people equally, my young brothers. Say it loud. Relight the torch of I'm black and I'm proud, equal. My young brothers, accept no less. Bless your ancestors with your own freedom song. Hip hop, how have they been done wrong? Hip hop, how they made it right. Hip hop into the night. Harriet Tubman led the plight of black folk wanting to be free, equal. My young brothers, let your voices ring of Rosa Parks, Sojourner Truth, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. Hip hop, how? From behind bars? The scars of colonization cried out for emancipation, and Mandela said, let my people go. Equal, my young brothers. Show the world that our conviction of never again is eternal, that the inferno of our past is like the dust cast in the ocean that Marcus Garvey wanted to lead us across. Cross your heart and hope to die that you will not deny your sisters the respect that they deserve, for they are your mothers, and they are the mothers of your sons like Angela Davis, who tried to save us with her Panther walk. Talk like Maya Angelou. Let the world know that you know what's going down, that you have been down, and rose like the phoenix to the apex. To all my young hip hop brothers, it is your turn to confront the beast that smothers us with your lyrics of protest. Always remember that actions speak louder than words. I don't know if I captured that correctly, but hey.
All right.
First
Can I
live
say
with you.
in peace on
Yeah.
it? Okay.
You can
All
say
right. Okay.
MP.
All right. So
I'm gonna make that mainstream. That is my career mission. Poets will get on and say begin peace and end
in
peace.
peace. All right. So I've already been institutionalized to in peace. All right. Hey, listen, family. That's our 5 minutes of heat, and that's how we close out our meetings. And what we'll do right now is close out with the solidarity pledge. This is a spiritual contract that we make with each other every week. And we start off by saying I, and you repeat after me until we end with the final verse. You ready?
Yep.
All right, say I, your name,
Jody,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to love my brothers and my sisters,
to love my brothers and my sisters,
as I love myself.
as I love myself.
I,
your
name,
Jody,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to study,
to
improve myself, spiritually, mentally, morally, and physically, for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I, your name,
child of the system,
pledge to strive, to be a part of the solution, the process, and not the problem. I, your name,
spoken truth,
pledge to strive,
to
give all that I could spare, of my time, my strength, and energy, to achieve the above said. All right, there it is, family. That's how we do it at CSRN. This is our weekly podcast. We want to you to join us next Tuesday, 6 p.m. to go over some of the things that we've done in the past, the things that we're doing right then, and some of the things that we're planning for the future. We want to thank Toledo Kwanzaa House for being in today. And also we want to thank Brother Don from Toledo Kwanzaa House. He wasn't able to get through for whatever reason. Thanks, Don, for participating and supporting and holding us down. And man, we had Julian in the studio.
Yeah, we had Julian. We had you may see us on TV tonight.
Right. And big shout out to Roxanne, our sister, Roxanne Elias, for coming through and doing some filming on Black History Month as it relates to the activist community or protest culture. What type of spin that we put on it, and the spin that we put on it is you don't necessarily have to celebrate those who have passed on.
Oh.
There are those that are creating Black history right now.
Celebrate the store owner down the block that owns his own business.
Right. So that's our look at it. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else? Peace.
Yeah.